Go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. I'm Karma with Lewis Acre Farm, and these are my co-hosts for the night. We have Rebecca, Touched by Yarn, and Jerry with Butler Family Farm. Thought we'd change it up just a little bit this week and let Chris have a little bit of a break from always being up here. Let him enjoy the chat. And he's here in the chat modding for me tonight. And I do so appreciate his loyalty and his dedication to being here every week. And Talk About It Tuesday is just a time to come in and hang out and talk about it. What are we going to talk about? Whatever that might be. So, do you have a topic that you'd like to talk about? Just drop it in the chat, and we'll get around to it eventually. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that you're here. So, Jerry, I know that you haven't been feeling very well lately.
Nope.
You got pretty sick there for a while.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks now. I'm tired of it. I was tired of it the first day, but that, I'm not a good person to be sick.
I don't know very many people who are, but it is really good to see you.
I got it, and we didn't do much about it. And then, like 4 days after I had it, Susan and Robert got it, and then all of a sudden they started coming up with all the medicine, started taking. Started taking medicine right away, and they're both back to normal. It just hung on with me longer because I've been fighting it longer. So anyway, so it is. I've been first time I've been sick in about 4 years.
Wow.
I haven't had any kind of colds or anything like that in 4 years. So
yeah.
So it got me double. Hey Nancy.
Hey Nancy.
And Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, that's tough. And Rebecca, have you been well or?
Well, there was one point that on Sunday, Ronald had bought a pumpkin pie from Walmart, and it was sugar-free. I will not eat one of those again because it just went straight through me.
Oh, that's tough.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But Monday, my brother Ronald had an appointment, and when I went to bed that Sunday night, I was like praying to the good Lord, please make me feel better in the morning, and everything seemed to be fine. It's like no fun. No fun. And someone in our Nancy and I's live last night said what it was is that they put this sugar alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And my body can't take it, I guess. So
yeah,
it's like, whoa.
Well, let's take a minute here and we'll greet everybody in chat. We have Texas Raider, Chris. He's here and he's doing the moderating for me today. Rebecca's usually in chat doing moderation for me, and she's been gracious enough to join me as a co-host today. And I do so appreciate it. And let's see, we have Heather, Heaven's Fire 18. She's in lurk mode. So glad that you're here joining us. Bella's Whisper Farmstead, Kristen, so glad you're here. And we have our treasured home. Thank you for being here. And we have quite a few people in lurk mode. Jennifer Ocean Homestead, thank you for being here, watching in the background. I do appreciate you being here. Everybody that's in the background, we do so appreciate you being here. At any point, if you feel like jumping in on the conversation, by all means do. It's greatly appreciated. And even just being in the background watching and hanging out with us, that's wonderful. If you did not hit the thumbs up on their way in, you're welcome to back out of the chat briefly and hit the thumbs up, or on your way back out, be sure and do that. Troy, welcome in. Glad that you're here. And anyway, that will really help if you can do that for me. So anyway, Rebecca, you are
Yes.
working on right now, currently rolling some yarn, but what is your current project you're working on?
I'm working between making pillow shams for the blanket that I finished for Karen at Flash Ministries. I'm making 4 of them, and they're my own pattern and things. And the thing that kind of I had my pet peeve is when you try to go from the middle of a lion brand, you can't find the end. So it's like, what? Makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
I'm trying to roll this ball and get it to the size I think I'll need to do the next row on this that I'm doing. But yeah, it's like, wow. And then I'm also in between doing this, I make scrubbies, which only take me half an hour each.
Right.
And then also making knitted hats too. So if I get tired of crocheting, then I just go switch to hats and switch to scrubbies and
very good.
Kind of doing things like that.
What are you doing these days, Jerry?
Nothing. I've been outside twice in the whole last 2 weeks, and I'm just trying to get better and get rid of the cough, because the cough is what hurts me the most. My rib cages were sore, my back was sore just from coughing so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been enough. I need to get out in the shop and get making more pens for the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 200 days for the cruise now.
Oh, I so wish we could go on that cruise. That would be so fun.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a nice, relaxing time.
Yeah.
That would be nice, but I know I won't be able to.
Yeah. I've been watching your progression on the bowl that you're making. Will you be getting or having another video coming out on that?
Yeah, when I get back out of the shop, I'll start turning the inside, and that's the next thing. I just haven't, when I'm harder to breathe, and coughing, I don't want to be near the machine, because if I cough, my hand moves the wrong way or something like that, I could end up getting my arm sleeve or something like that pulled into the machine. So I just stay away from it.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Plus the fact that it's hard to breathe, so I don't need any of that dust coming up and getting in my lungs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I just stayed out of the shop. I haven't been in the shop, and I was in and out of the shop just the other day. I stepped in and set something in there and stepped out. So it's been over 3 weeks since I've been in the shop.
Yeah. That's hard.
Like I can walk out there and not cough my head off. Then I'll probably do another. Well, I need to get out there and start making pens, because I told Devil Dog I was going to make a pen on live for him, and so I'm going to try to do it like on a Saturday or Sunday during the day.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want me to do it on Saturday because he didn't want to be on the live watching a pen and then have to do his live and Gary's live afterwards. So it might most likely be a Sunday that I do it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tiffany, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, Tiffany.
Hope things are going well for you guys. I hope you've been able to find a place to move.
She should be getting a package from me pretty soon.
So
I'm not sure where it's at right now, but I'm going to check to see where it's at.
That'd be nice.
We've been just trying to get adjusted to Logan's new schedule. It's been a long time since he's had a 5-day-a-week job and a regular, consistent schedule. And having him working 5 days a week and on a regular schedule has been a lot to get used to, and trying to figure out how to do everyday things that have to be done when he's at work, and I find them difficult for me to do. Just learning to adapt and still do the things that I need to do. And we only have one vehicle. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge worth having. So
I don't think I've ever done this online, showing how you do a seashell stitch on this. This is
okay.
different, but because of, as you can see, this is kind of puffy.
Yeah.
Because what you end up doing is, let me get to the top of this so that it anchors it. Instead of going like I did here into both, you go into the back stitch. And then it puffs it out the other way.
Troy, that is awesome. Praise God. Troy has a praise report. I was able to drive to town today. First time I've been able to drive in 5 months. Feeling good to get some independence back. That is incredible. What an amazing
he's on his way to recovery.
Most definitely.
That is fantastic. So happy for you, Troy.
That is so good. Definitely.
That is awesome. I've been working with these kittens that I have that adopted our house as their home. And last night, I think it was last night. Well, I know it was last night, but possibly the night before, I actually had all 9 of the kittens inside for the first time. And that's a huge, huge breakthrough because some of them...
So no mother, just 9 kittens?
Well, there is a mother. There's 2 separate litters. But the mother, it took forever to get her to even let me touch her. And she leaves for days at a time.
Oh.
And then comes back to eat. And then she'll hang around for a few days and then she'll leave again for days at a time. And I just saw her a couple hours ago for the first time in over a week. But the older girls are 8 months old. And then the younger, there's 2 boys and 3 girls. And they are 4 months old. And so I had the 7 girls and 2 boys in the house for the first time last night, all of them together. Usually I can get 2 or 3, maybe 4 of them, but I can't get all 9.
Did you take them down and have them fixed yet, or?
Around here, to be able to get them fixed, you have to get on a long waiting list. And if there's no openings on the waiting list, you just have to wait it out. And they don't do spay and neuter during the winter time through one of the agencies, because they're expected to be, most of them are considered ferals,
Right.
and you have to be able to keep them in the house. Well, I've just now gotten them to where they're all friendly enough that I can bring them in the house. And so they wouldn't work with me on that, because otherwise they would have been just outside.
What's up, Gary?
Hey, Gary.
What's up,
Welcome
Gary?
in. So glad you're here. But I keep checking the list for the one agency that is the least expensive. They will do a female for $50 and a male for $25. And I keep looking on their list to see if they're updating it and doing more, and if I can get them on the list. But they'll only do 3 at a time. You can only take 3 at a time.
In
The chickadee we got that adopted us and stays in the chicken house with the chickens. She actually lays in the nest boxes. We don't. We feed her. Susan's able to talk to her, but she can barely. You can't really touch her, because if she picks you try to pick her up, she'll scratch you.
Mm-hmm.
But Susan's able to talk to her. She's responding to Susan now, and we put food out for her. But the chickens eat their food, and the possums come up and they eat the food, which we catch the possums and move them to another part of the farm. But she's a calico girl, so we know it's a female.
Right.
And we've been finding rabbit bodies in the chicken coop. She's catching rabbits and bringing them in the chicken coop and eating them. Her main source. We have a lot of rabbits running around, wild rabbits around here. But she, she's thinning them out a little bit, I guess, because as soon as she went in the other day and found a half body of a rabbit in there. So we couldn't pick it up and take it out, because we don't want it, making a mess in there. But funny thing is, she's catching rabbits, and we know she's catching the mice too, because they're, we're finding mice bodies dead out in the ground, outside and around.
Yeah. Well, I will say that ever since these kittens have been here, we've not had the mouse problem that we were having. I have 6 cats that are my own that live inside, and we had a mouse problem. They wouldn't hunt.
The wild cats will take care of them.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with keeping a couple of them, but I can't have 18 cats. And,
well, you could.
Well,
you may not want to. Yeah,
they deserve a good home, and I'm pretty sure that at some point the park managers are going to say something.
Oh, Katie.
And I don't want somebody else to come in and start trapping them, because who knows what'll happen to them.
I don't recognize the channel Consume the Goodness.
Yeah. Hey, Katie.
I remember Katie, but that other one I don't.
Consume the Goodness is Kendra. She is awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Hi, Kendra.
Kendra, did you want to come up? I can send you the link. She's one of them that I invited, and she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to come up or not.
Oh.
Okay. Let me get that for you. Make sure I send you the correct link, unlike what I
in our area here with the Humane Society where we live, if we catch, as we call them, community cats,
right,
what they end up doing is you have to keep you have to catch them in live bait traps. And then you catch them close to the time that they're going to be doing the fixing. And they take those cages, they're taken to the university hospital or the university vet school. They, of course, nip off the, crimp off the ears. Yeah, they tip the ear. And they're brought back the next day. So the cats that I had outside, I caught, they fixed, no charge. No charge at all.
Used to have that.
Just to get the population down of the community cats we had here out in the country. So all the cats that I'm seeing run around here on the road where I live and, other areas have their ears, the left ear tipped. So you can, you know that they're fixed.
We have a program here that used to, in the county where I live, they used to do all the feral cats and community cats that way, and you could take them for free. But now they have stopped doing that. They have what they call Feral Cat Friday, and it's a hit or miss whether you're going to be able to get the cats done. And their whole system has completely changed. They used to offer vouchers to low-income families to be able to get their pets done, and it was a really reasonable fee. And they don't even really do that anymore. They charge as much as a regular vet to do spays and neuters now. I can actually take the males to my vet and have them done for less than this so-called low-cost spay and neuter clinic. And I think the females were about the same, if not slightly less, at my vet. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
What the? I can't hear anything.
You can't hear us? Uh-oh.
I think I messed up the last time too. Hold on. I'm not sure what I did. What the? I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know why I can't hear you.
I don't know.
You can hear her. She must got her mic or her speakers must not be right.
Her speakers may not be right and stuff.
I don't know.
Let's see. No, that's fine. Oh,
Unmute her
geez.
speakers, maybe.
Embarrassing.
Did somebody send her that message? I have one hand to work with. Send her a message to check her speakers.
What the heck?
Can you hear us now? Oh,
She dropped
just
down.
kicked herself out.
Yep.
Took herself out. Maybe she'll come back in.
Yeah, she will.
I have I don't know what on the settings when I go up on StreamYard, I have my television over here that I have that speaker going, but I have a speaker at the bottom of my monitor that doesn't. When I'm on YouTube, it works, but when I'm up on a panel, it doesn't. So it's kind of strange. So I always turn on the TV. That's why you're seeing that light over there. It's coming from the television.
Oh, okay. Oh, there she is. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know why the speaker was changed to a different one, so I had to go into the settings
Oh.
and fix it.
I've had that happen where the speaker settings got changed.
Yeah, so I had to just switch it back to the default and whatever.
Well, every time I change from StreamYard to Streamlabs or somebody else is going and doing it on Restream, all my microphones and everything all changes.
Oh, maybe that's why, because I did a live stream using OBS.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what it was.
that's
Yeah.
why. That's what it is.
Got it.
My son had to actually uninstall OBS from my computer in order for me to even use Restream.
Oh, geez.
For some reason, it wouldn't let my camera work if I had the OBS installed on the computer.
Technology
Katie?
is so fun.
Oh,
Katie.
isn't it?
Katie's asking what I'm working on. If you've been to my channel, I did a California King seashell stitch blanket for somebody. I am now making pillow shims, and it's a puff seashell stitch that I'm doing. That's what I'm
gonna be
working on.
nice.
So basically,
Crochet
I did
Family, welcome in.
the first row as a half double, and then I'm doing the shell stitches.
That's cool.
How are you
Yeah.
feeling today, Kendra?
I feel pretty good. I spent like the first chunk of the day, actually up until about, I don't know, not that long ago, with vertigo, which is like different from my regular dizziness. So I have dizziness all the time, but vertigo, this is only my third time dealing with it. It just doesn't stop spinning. So, but it's settled down now. I'm just trying not to move as much and not look side to side or up because it really gets bad. So, but besides that, I've been feeling pretty good today. Better than last time I was on.
I have dealt with vertigo. That is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, that is horrible. Rob, welcome in. It has been so long.
Hi, Rob.
I've been thinking about you.
Oh,
I am so sorry that you've been dealing with some issues, but it's good to see you back.
what was the question?
Rob has been a supporter of my channel since almost the very beginning. And he lives over in Wales. And he's usually here for almost every single one of my videos and lives. And he's been an amazing supporter. It's good to see him back here today. Logan just sent me a picture. I don't know which way. Whoop, there we go. That's one of the animals at the zoo where he works.
Is that a llama?
No, it's one of the
leopard or
cats.
something.
I think
Isn't
it's
that a cat?
one of the servals.
Serval, maybe?
Let me figure out what I'm doing here.
Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah.
It's all curled up.
Yeah. So he sends me pictures now and then of the different animals that he's working with or happens to see during the day. It's kind of cool getting to see the animals. So he's loving his new job.
Aw, good.
Oh. Hi, Mary. Welcome in. Glad that you're here. We did have a wonderful conversation yesterday with Mary. If you weren't able to be there.
Oh yeah, I got to watch some of it. I didn't say anything in the chat, which I do a lot when I pop into people's live streams, but
yeah,
I did watch parts of it, so I need to go back and watch the rest of it. But it was good what I saw.
Karma, I was there the whole time. I just wasn't chatting.
Oh, that's
Watched
fine.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely great.
Thank you for stopping in, Mary. Have a good live. So,
yeah, definitely.
Anyway, yeah, we're going to try to do another live at some point where we can actually discuss more in depth our experiences with autism and also with other disabilities. We have so much in common in that respect. We both deal with fibromyalgia and other disabilities. And then she and I both have raised a child with autism. And then now I have the experience of being married to someone with autism. And it's a whole different world being on the spousal side of autism as opposed to being the parent of autism. And we're hoping to do a live where we can sit and have a conversation along those lines.
I think that would be good, just to like see deeper into it, because most people, we just see like surface or have a really short interaction maybe with someone or with a somebody who has someone in the family who is autistic. So to actually hear the more detailed things, like most of the time things are not what they seem. People might look at something and be like, oh, that would be tough, but really just you have no idea. One of those types of things. So it'd be cool to hear more about it from different angles and stuff.
Yeah. Now I have done an interview with both Logan and my son Ronson to hear their perspective of what it's like to be autistic in this world. Ronson has other disabilities as well, and he didn't get his diagnosis until he was 15. And so we discussed what it was like for him growing up and dealing with the bullying and the schools and the anxieties and all of that, and what it's like for him now as an adult. And then with Logan, he didn't get his diagnosis, and he had a lot of struggles, all of his life. And he has other disabilities as well. And he didn't get his diagnosis until he was 50. And what it was like for him to go through life with these struggles and not understanding why he didn't fit in with people, why he didn't, why he struggled to make friends, why he struggled to be successful at a job, and why he had communication issues and all of these things, and then coming to terms with it as an adult and accepting his diagnosis, and how freeing it was for him to finally have an understanding of why.
Yes.
And so that interview is also on my channel.
Oh yeah, I want to watch those.
Yeah.
It really is helpful to know why something is happening, even though it doesn't make it go away, and it doesn't make it all of a sudden easy or anything like that, but still just the constant wondering, like, what is going on? Why is this happening? Why do I keep passing out? Why? And then even when you go to the doctor and they give you like, you know, they're, in my opinion, it's very generalized, very textbook answers, like, oh, you passed out, well, you need to drink some more water. You passed out, you were hot. Like, very, you know, just this is what happened, these are the symptoms, then this must be what it is. I mean, it took years for people. It is such a frustration to wonder, and I'm sure it was very frustrating for my mom too, like, why is this stuff happening to my kid? And you people keep saying she just needs to drink more water. Well, she is, and it's not getting better. It took years before anybody finally even was like, all right, let's do like deep testing, lots of different testing to find out what is actually going on. But yeah, once you know, it is just, you're like, it's okay, liberating. Now I actually know. Yes. And you have a better understanding. Once you actually know what you're trying to even understand, you can start to learn more about it and have a better understanding of it, and then start to make the different lifestyle changes that need to be made to at least try to make quality of life better. So yeah, just the not knowing, even that alone sucks. So that's just one less thing you have to worry about once you know what it is. You just focus on
for people with autism, they mask. And by masking, I mean they spend their entirety of their life trying to be what they think is
what they think everybody else
normal. They're trying to be neurotypical when their brain isn't wired that way. And it's exhausting for them, physically, mentally, emotionally draining. And so when you see these children and these adults having full-on meltdowns, it's because they have reached their limit of the ability to mask. And when they're home or when they're with people that they feel safe with, they become somebody else because they have reached their limit. And people who live with them, they're like, wait a minute, you were so good when you were with this person or that person, and you were out in public and you were doing so fine, and then all of a sudden, what happened? Well, it's because they've been masking. They've been pretending to be, it's like on Halloween, everybody puts on this mask and they go out and they're in public and they're somebody else. Then they go home and they take off their costume and they're back to being who they are. And that's exactly what it is for someone with autism.
And it can be so relatable, I feel like, for so many other things that maybe people don't even realize that they do that. Like if they're feeling a lot of depression or a lot of, I don't know, even if they have like just certain symptoms that they don't want, maybe they're embarrassed about something that they, about a medical issue that they have, embarrassed about that, or embarrassed about limitations that they have, or if they are feeling things like depression or anxiety, and that when you're out, you don't want people to just always be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What's wrong? What's the matter? What's whatever. So you just, you know, you smile through it and you're like, I'm good. I'm fine. No, I'm okay. And then you get home and you're just like, oh, I'm not.
Right.
So yeah, that I feel like sharing that stuff could be so just relatable for other people for so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
I hope my brother's okay with me saying this. He did not get diagnosed as an epileptic until he was in his 40s and things. And then when he turned 52, he went to this place and they determined that he's also autistic. And in that time, they determined that he was also bipolar. and things. So he's been, when I left my ex-husband, my mom bought this house and we all moved in together. So Ronald was here, I was here taking care of my mom, and now I'm taking care of my brother, helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's days that it's hard.
It is.
It is
so hard.
Yeah, but I feel like it's hard for the people. It's hard for the people, but the people like you who are watching it as well, because I feel like, I don't know, some people might have an outlook like, well, you're not the one actually going through it, but you're still walking. You may not physically feel the things or, mentally feel the struggles or whatever, but you are still, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people just downplay that stuff and it makes it like, well, his stuff is way worse than, you just being on the outside of it. It doesn't make your stuff any less significant. So
no,
I feel like it's so hard, even for the people watching. And that's somebody that you love, like somebody you care about, and you're watching them. And it's like, there's not anything I can do. You can try the most you can to help out and everything, but it's like, it's heartbreaking. So it
affects the caregiver in a way that can't be quantified, because it affects you on a totally different level. Raising my son, knowing there was something different, something, I don't want to use the term wrong, but there's no other word to use right now. Hey, Ronson, glad you're here. Knowing that there was something different and something not right, and having doctors and people that I reached out to tell me, oh, you're fine. He's fine. You're just a doting mom. He's okay. You're okay. You don't need help. Yes, I do. I need help. There's something wrong. There's something not right. And I'm reaching out for help, and you're telling me that I don't need help? If I didn't need help, I wouldn't say something. And I can't tell you how many times I was told that.
Oh, yeah. The people who are, okay, so our oldest son was born at 24 weeks, and he has a lot of, the way it was always explained to us is like, he's not full-blown autistic, and he's not like full-blown with Asperger's, however you say it, but he's somewhere on that spectrum. His biggest thing is that he struggles so badly with overstimulation. So if something is thrown off in the routine, if new people visit, if they're, the 4th of July was always such a hard time for him, because he gets overstimulated. And as a baby, he would cry a lot. And then we also had him hooked up to a bunch of machines, so his oxygen would drop and things like that. And then more as a toddler, not knowing how to handle feeling overstimulated, he would like bang his head on the side of his crib or on the wall, or it was like almost like a rage in him because he didn't know how. And that sucked as the parent, because we're looking at him like, we can't do it. The most we can do is try to help him, calm him down. But as the years went on, so many outside people were like, just get him around loud things. Just put him around a big, go to crowded places. That way he'll get used to it. Do this type of stuff. And for a while we were like, maybe we should do that. Like, maybe we're just being way too protective of this because we see what it does to him and we don't want to see it. So maybe we do need to try these things. And so there were a few times where we tried and we were like, no, we should, why would we put him in it on purpose? So our approach changed, and our approach was just, we need to just like shut everybody else out because they really don't know, because they're not in it, like living in it. Not to be like rude or disrespectful to them when they say things, but for our focus turned to, let's just teach him tools, like give him tools. If you get overstimulated, let's try this. and see if that works. And the things that worked, then we're going to keep those going. The things that don't work, obviously, we're not going to waste our time with those things. So if writing helps, if coloring helps, that way we were just teaching him stuff in life is going to happen. You're going to get overstimulated sometimes. Stuff is going to be crazy sometimes. So when they do, let's teach you things, what can you do in these situations? But yeah, having the people on the outside who are just like, it's fine, he's fine. Just take him places and he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Like, you don't know, but these are also people who didn't have eyes on him and see what it did to him for days after the overstimulation. So that is pretty frustrating.
You were kind of at an advantage, Kendra, because your children are younger and autism is more prominent, and there are a lot more services available. It's recognized a lot more. Even in the early 90s, when my son was growing up, it still was not very widely acknowledged.
Oh, yeah. So you just seemed like this crazy mom who's like overthinking things like, oh my gosh, your kid's fine. There's nothing wrong with him.
Especially because I spent tons of time with my son. It started out with his hearing. Well, he wasn't speaking properly and he wasn't hearing properly. And so I spent hours with him teaching him how to speak. So when I would go to the doctor and I'd say, there's something wrong with his hearing. We have genetic hearing loss. And he had chronic ear infections. So if I said, there's something wrong with his hearing, he's speaking just fine. Well, I also spent, I can't tell you how many hours with his little hand and him watching my face and putting his hand on my mouth, on my throat, letting him feel the vibrations and see the words formed and over enunciating words for him to teach him how to speak. Go to the doctor and there's nothing wrong with him. He can speak just fine. Yeah, I've spent hours with him, teaching him and doing speech therapy, which I didn't even know I was doing. Yeah, he can speak. And even though he has profound hearing loss, he doesn't speak. He has a tiny bit of the speech of someone with a hearing loss, but not much, because I spent so much time from the time he was a year old teaching him how to speak. So every time there was something that I would notice, I spent time with him, working with him. But it wasn't there. It wasn't available. Back when my husband and I were growing up in the 70s and in the 80s, autism wasn't heard of. It was not known. And so my husband was at an extreme disadvantage. In fact, he went to a doctor when he was 5 or 6, and this doctor literally put his hand on my husband's forehead and said, "Yep, he just ain't got it up there."
What?
I'm not kidding you. This is word verbatim from his mother. His mother told me this.
Wow.
Hey, welcome in, Farming Nature's Way. Glad that you're here.
I love what Shawnee Grows is putting up here. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much.
No.
I try to find different ways to interact with my brother, and it seems like he's a little more receptive, when I say, "Will you please help me?" And things. So I'm doing things different. I'm trying to do things different, so that I'm able to understand him and help him out.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's so much that we can learn from each other, but that's why we need each other and we need our connections. And a lot of people even now frown on YouTube and frown on other forms of social media. But I'm so thankful to have found this community, because I'm finding family that I don't have and friends that I don't have locally, and a support system that I don't have locally. Especially as a parent. Now, granted, my son is going to be 34 soon, but I'm still a parent of a child who has needs, and he still needs me. Not near like he used to, but he still needs me. And I'm thankful I'm here for him. And I'm also the spouse of a neurodivergent who needs me in ways that a neurotypical spouse doesn't. And I'm still looking for those out there, and I know they're out there. I'm still looking for those who are looking for that connection and who are willing to be a support system for others that I can also be a support system for, you know.
So, Rebecca,
Yes.
is Ronald considered an epileptic?
Yes.
Is he on medicine?
Yes, he is.
I have a sister who's epileptic, an older sister, matter of fact. She lives in California, but she lives in a state home to, you know, that
He
to epileptics.
he was in Washington State, and he would have these episodes, and they would not do a test. You know, the state would go, okay, you're not an epileptic. You know, so he ended up moving to Missouri. He left Washington, says, okay, you're not going to do this test. I'm moving. So he did. And he came to Missouri. My parents took him to their doctor. He was a DO. And all of a sudden, he had an episode. His episodes were just staring blankly, just literally.
He didn't actually have a seizure. He just went.
Well, they still considered what he was doing was having a seizure because he was just blank.
Yeah, there are different. So you have like, what is it?
So there are so many different
seizures.
Grand mal.
There's grand mal and petit mal.
Yeah.
My sister used to have grand mal seizures.
There was one time that my brother Roscoe, I have two siblings, two brothers that have epilepsy. And Roscoe, we were sitting there and Ronald was doing these tests, and all of a sudden he slid down and started shaking. It was the first time that I had ever seen him. You know, and of course, being a nurse, you know, being a nurse's aide, we turned him on his side and got him seen. The medication he was on wasn't working anymore. Ronald has also changed medications and doctors. And the medication he's on now, he has not had any episodes at all. You know, I definitely know what to look for. And then they had him also pegged as a bipolar disorder. He was on medication. And since he got on this new medication, he is so much better. He still does some things that are inappropriate. He'll walk up on people, you know, and people are, you know, and I'll just say his name and he knows that he needs to back off. He's gotten too close. You know, so it's little things like that. I don't get loud. I just say, please come here, Ronald. And he'll back off. So, you know, anytime that you do meet my brother, he sometimes does that. He'll walk up on you. And people don't get it that he has autism. Right. And they did diagnose him as Asperger's, which they say, you know, high functioning.
Mm-hmm.
Computers. Oh my gosh, that guy knows computers. See, he's my person when I start having problems with the computers.
That's Ronson too.
It's like just amazing.
Are
Yeah, my
things
sister
controlled?
was diagnosed back in the 60s with the seizures and stuff. And my mom had taken her doctors. They did brain surgery on her, and she was part of a UCLA study where they went in, and they had what they call she's got what they call a floating bruise on her brain. There's no way they can get it out because it's never in the same place twice. So my mom worked with the Epileptic Society in Hollywood and stuff. She was working with them, and she's 3 years older than me, and she was always the main function in the house. Was always working around trying to get her to be able to not have seizures, because now seizures were bad, and they come on anywhere, and she would just almost like pass out, but she'd have a seizure where you had to be careful she didn't bite her tongue and she didn't hit her head. It was, that was the bad part. Then my mom worked with the state, got her in a home. I don't even know what year that was. It must have been when I was in the Navy. And the state has taken care of her since then. So I haven't seen her in probably 20 years.
Hmm.
She doesn't recognize people anyways. She talks to my sister once in a while, and my sister actually has to go through and explain who she is, how she's related, all over. Spends a half an hour to explain who she is to her before she even actually talked to her.
That's sad. It's got to be hard for your sister too, like taxing to explain it, and it's just probably really sad.
She doesn't talk to you like that, so I couldn't tell you. Both my mom and dad are passed, so this is my other two sisters and myself and her. So we have no cousins on our side. So, but now I understand that about Ronald. Now it makes more sense about some of the things that he does. I understand it more.
Yes.
But you can't tell by looking. I mean, he's not walking around with a neon sign over his head saying what it is.
Exactly.
So that's why when I met Jerry, I did not know who Jerry was. He says, "You met me," and I says, "I did not know who you were." And I talked to Susan. I didn't talk to him very much, but now we do. It's pretty interesting, But when Ronald was there, I had to keep an eye on him, and and I need to kind of let it go sometimes, and just let people know, okay, my brother has autism. There may be some things that he does inappropriately, and just give him grace, please.
Well, people are pretty accepting once they understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
there's a organization. It's about invisible disabilities, and their whole goal is to try to get, we have the ADA and we have the wheelchair symbol that is plastered on bathrooms. We have it on parking spaces. We have it all over, and you see that symbol and a person is disabled. But that is for physical disabilities that are visible. But there's also physical disabilities, and there's mental disabilities, and there's so many disabilities that are invisible. And this organization is pushing for not just a national, but an international symbol for invisible disabilities that can be printed on your driver's license, your state ID, and they're pushing for education amongst law enforcement and educators and emergency rooms, places where people with invisible disabilities interact, so that if they see this symbol, then they know this person has an invisible disability. Handle with care, basically.
Yeah, because people, just like what Jerry was saying about a big neon sign, if you don't have it, people look at you, especially if you're somebody who like smiles. I used to smile a lot, and then I would like, gosh, I did this for quite a few years, and then I would go in the bathroom and cry a little bit and wipe my face off and go back out there. And I just got really good at like leaning on walls, leaning on the counter. So it just looks very whatever. Most people, even my dad, didn't know. He really didn't know how bad it was until I don't know. I was somewhere in my early or mid 20s, and he was like, "Oh crap! I didn't like." Doctors don't even know when they walk into the room. They'll be like, "Do I have the right? You know, you're young and you look, you know, you're happy and all these different things," until they start running all the tests, and I'm wearing monitors for days at a time. They're like, "Oh crap, there is something wrong with this girl's heart." And then it's the same with my husband. I think people would be like, what's the deal? I mean, she's perfectly fine. But on the inside of our home, they don't see the extra stuff, him helping me in the shower, him helping me dry off and brush my hair and get me into bed and pick me up off the floor quite a bit of times, or when we're out somewhere, having to get me into the car to bring me home and pick up where I left off with cooking because I'm going down in the kitchen and there's food on the stove. You know, people don't see that stuff. And even on YouTube, I think it's great. I love that I can edit stuff out. I edit so many moments of shortness of breath or just totally spacing out. I edit so much of that stuff out, which I think
shouldn't edit that stuff out, though.
I don't think you should.
I don't think you should either, because that's when people get to really know who you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
So at first I was like, I love this. And I didn't do live streams. I started my channel in 2021, I think. I just did my first live stream not even a year ago because I was like, crap, people are going to see it. And they have. People have seen it. And then stuff like Jerry, what you just said, and Rebecca, that like just don't, because this started when I was 13 and I'm 37 now. So for so many years, I just was trying to hide it. I don't want like to be the center of attention. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. And that's always what I thought would happen. So I just kind of tried to hide stuff. But the more I got, like, I guess a community type of thing going on YouTube and started to be open about it and like started doing some videos talking about it, then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try just to see what happens if I show parts of it. And the response was way different than what I thought. I just thought it was going to be like, I don't know. I worry way too much. I always feel like people are going to be like, you want people to feel sorry for you. Like I'm trying to be some kind of victim, and I don't. So I try to make it a point to just be like, I just am open. Like that channel, everything over there is just very open and honest. And if things are hard with my health or with something that's going on with my mom or something that's going on in our home, then I talk about it, but to put encouragement in it, because even though this sucks, it's still, you can still smile, or it's okay to cry, or, you know, more people, I think more of us everybody, I feel like we all have more in common than we don't. When you really, if you really sit and talk to somebody, whether they come from a completely different background or whatever, we are more alike than the media or whoever, you know, tries to kind of like paint the picture that we're all so different. And so I really don't think we are. We might have different medical things. We might have different mental things. We might have different financial things, but we all have things. And so I'm just learning, you know, to be more open about it, because so much good comes from it. Like I'm so big on that so much good comes from the hard times and from the struggles that we go through every day, that and leaning on each other and lifting each other up through it. You know, I love it. So I'm glad that I've started to ease up on that, trying to hide it, because what good is it doing? I mean, that's really what I started to ask myself. Like, what good is this doing by just not talking about it or showing it? Because then if something happens with me medically, people will be like, she's perfectly fine. I've been watching her videos for years and there's nothing wrong with her. Nobody would even have a clue.
Right.
So,
If you watch some videos of places, you always see all the good about it. No, you're going like, like on farm videos, a lot of farm videos will show all good stuff. It's not always that good. There's bad parts. And if you don't show the bad parts, or you don't talk about the bad parts, then you're giving your as far as I'm concerned, you're giving your channel a false face.
Yeah, it's like fake.
It's not really you. On our introduction to our channel, we say we show the good, the bad, the pretty, and the ugly. And we don't video record the real ugly stuff, but we'll talk about it. Like we've talked about how to put a cow down. We've talked about having had a horse put down, and we've talked about the bad parts, and that's it happens. It's not all hunky dory and balloons and stuff. There's bad stuff that happens all the time too. So I like to see, I don't mean raw, but I like to see the real people. That
feedback is what I was getting, which is why I'm like, oh my gosh, because I like on camera, off camera, anybody who's watched my videos, that's just who I like. Nothing about it is fake, minus when I do skits. Obviously, I'm not a dude. But when I dress up or whatever, but that's just doing a skit. Besides that, everything is very real. So I used to, when I started, if I would start to cry because of whatever I was talking about, I would stop it, fix myself up, whatever, get back to it. And I don't do that anymore. And the feedback that I get, even though I'm so nervous when it goes out, even though I know that you guys are not going to be like, seeing it in a harsh or in a bad way or whatever, I still get nervous. But the feedback is just like what you're saying, Jerry, where people are like, I love this because it's real and it's relatable. And I have felt that type of thing too. And so I'm just like, okay, this is just who I am off camera. I'm very open communication. I'm huge on communication, just wide open, honest, just open mind with it, open with my words, everything. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that here too, because my channel is Healthy Lifestyle and Life with Jesus. And nothing about those two things is hidden stuff, It's all wide open, emotional, mental, physical stuff, our walks with Jesus, the struggles that we go through, the testimony stories, like it has to be wide open and real to be real. So
one of my best videos was
Karma, I'll be back.
Okay. One of my best videos was one almost a year ago where something had happened here at home and I was extremely upset. And I just turned on the video and talked, and I was sobbing, I was crying, I was ready to just quit and give up, and I felt unappreciated and I was hurting. I was just emotionally beat up because of what had happened here at home. And I thought people were going to basically beat me up. I was already beat up emotionally, and I thought I was just going to get beat up more. But I published it raw, just totally raw. I didn't edit it. at all. And that video, even to this day, is still one of the most viewed videos on my channel. And it continues to get views and it continues to get comments. I don't even know how many comments are on that video. And I even made a post, a comment on there and pinned it to the top explaining what happened. I'm in a good place. I'm fine. Everything's going well, you know, because people were worried about me. And I even commented on there and pinned it to the top so that people would understand what, you know, that was a one-day event.
Yeah.
You know, but that when you make yourself completely vulnerable and completely real, that's when people appreciate you the most.
Yeah. I think and it shows, like what you were saying, that's your most viewed, to be like, I don't know, maybe feel kind of nervous about putting it out there or whatever sometimes. But then when you see stuff like that, it's almost like an eye opener. At least that's what it was like for me. So for, like I was saying at the beginning, I was editing all that kind of stuff out. When I was having bad days medically, I would just do like it would basically just be a bunch of words, like slides of like, I'm not doing very well today, so this video is going to be whatever. I'd have some type of encouragement still. But there was one day where I also always used to be really worried about length. I always felt like my videos need to be really short or else nobody's going to watch the videos. So this one that I did was like 20 minutes long, which still isn't ridiculously long. But to me at that time, I thought, gosh, this is going to be so long. Nobody's going to want to watch it. It's not a skit. It's not, you know, entertaining. I'm not smiling and bubbly in this one, but I don't know. It was just on my heart to do it. So I did it. And I just recorded and I explained the things I'm diagnosed with. I explained a little bit, not a ton, but I talked a little about what it was like as a mom and what it was like as a wife to do that. And then just me personally. And this was at a time where my videos had like maybe 30 views. You know, I really didn't have that many views. That one within the first like 2 or 3 days had 1,500 views. And I was just like, holy crap. Like I was blown away because I really thought that, first of all, I didn't think anybody would even actually watch it because I thought they would think this is boring and it's too long, so I'm not watching this. But I got emails after that, and I used to be on Telegram. I got a lot of messages on there, and then in the comments that people were just like, and text messages that they're like, I'm so glad that you did that you shared that. Even though in my head I'm thinking people are going to think this is so boring and way too long, and there are parts where I cry, and it's like, this is supposed to be uplifting channel. I did put encouragement in there though, because yeah, this sucks having these medical conditions, but our kids are being raised to see that just because somebody looks a certain way on the outside, you have no idea what they're going through. So they're being raised to be very observant and to know that things aren't always what they seem, and to be very patient with people. Like my husband, he's so patient about helping me. He doesn't have to tell me as much now since I've changed the way that I eat, and that has helped. But before, when he was working, and then he would have to like come home early sometimes to help me and then go back out and work, or it's picking me up, helping me do things. He's doing all of it. He never complained. He was never like grumbling or yelling at people or in a bad mood. Hold on. And I would always be crying like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that you have to help me. And he's like, why? Like, this is my job. You're my wife. I'm going to do this. And no, I'm not going to complain about it. He's like, you can't help it. I mean, it sucks for you too. So, you know, but I love that the kids were seeing that, because they're observed, they're watching that. So, you know, they're hopefully being raised up, you know, to be I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think you guys probably get what I'm
They're
trying to say.
being raised to be empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be
That's
patient
awesome.
with people and, and to see that is my husband. I feel like for our 3 boys, that this is part of being a man, is not to be slamming stuff around and irritated and blah, 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 that be there for your wife and be there for your kids and they, have a good attitude about it, even though it's hard. I know that it's a lot of pressure on my husband with everything, but he's very gracious about it and keeps leaning on God with everything. And that's another thing we teach our kids. So even though it sucks, I feel like there's so much good that can come out of it. I've grown a lot and learned a lot, and our kids are through me, and my husband is, and we're growing together and individually. And I just think the sucky things are so great in life. Sometimes we can
That's
get so
awesome.
much good from it.
That's awesome.
Somebody said that somebody somewhere. Thank you, Troy. Oh, thank you for going over to my channel. Oh crap. I have food in the oven and I have a premiere in 45 minutes, so I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
Food that is not burned. But I'm glad I was able
You.
Yeah, I
So
know. I'm
glad
glad.
you joined us.
Yes, and so I apologize again for last time. I just
Oh.
shouldn't have even come up here. And then I was thinking, like when we talked in the background, I'm like, oh yeah, if I feel like I'm gonna go down, I'll just let you know. Not realizing that if I'm going down, I'm not gonna be able to let you know anything, which is exactly what happened. I'm so sorry.
Hey, we keep it real.
Yes.
We keep it real. So it was not a problem. We just politely removed you and asked everyone to keep praying for you.
Thank you.
That's what we did. So, and then I think it was your husband got on and let everybody know you were just having a medical issue and that you were okay. He was taking care of you. So
oh, good.
It was all good.
Just another day in the life.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm glad I got to talk with you guys.
Nice meeting you.
Well,
Good
thank
night.
you.
Nice
too,
meeting you,
Jerry. I know
Kendra.
I see you all the time in Tuber chat, but I've never actually talked to you. So, and you too, Rebecca. So, okay. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Oh,
Hey, Glenda. Welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. So,
yeah.
well, it's been a really, really good conversation. Certainly not a direction I thought it might go today, but that's the beauty of these hangouts. You just never know what direction it's going to go. And, I just believe that somebody, whether today or later on when they're watching the replays, this is something that somebody needed to hear. Somebody needed to be encouraged and to know they're not alone. And so,
most people probably think I'm a pretty outgoing person. To talk to a whole bunch of people, I am very nervous about it. One-on-one, maybe 2 people, I'm okay with that. But more than that, I get nervous. I don't know what to talk about, and being on YouTube, it has taught me a lot. It really has.
Yeah.
To keep a conversation going. I feel like I'm doing better, as I get older, it just kind of makes it interesting.
Well, that's the name of the game, is just keep growing.
Definitely, for sure.
I'm glad you were here, Kendra. And we do have a very good community here. Absolutely. So, anyway, so what's everybody having for dinner tonight?
I'm not sure. I'll figure. I think I might make breakfast.
That sounds good.
Pancakes and eggs, and I don't have bacon. I don't have bacon, but I do have sausage.
Sounds good. See, Ronson's having a frozen pizza. And what did you say, Jerry?
It's not my department. Unless I'm cooking, I don't worry about what's being cooked.
You're having
I
food.
have a bee meeting tonight, so I'm gonna have to get off here pretty quick anyway. So,
Okay.
I got a bee meeting for my club today, and then the rest of the week I've got class. I'm bee class for beginning beekeepers.
Aha.
So I'll be in class all week.
Sounds fun. See, Glenda
Anyway.
is having turkey chili using a lot of produce from last year's garden. Ooh, yum. That sounds good.
I've never heard of chicken mole with Spanish rice.
Rob cooked a beef dinner with all the trimmings. That sounds good. And I was working on this one, and the other message popped up. Chicken mole with Spanish rice. Chicken mole, that sounds so good. I had mole one time not long ago, and that was so good. There's different kinds of mole. I read up on it, and a lot of mole has peanut butter in it. Or not peanut butter. I'm sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. Chocolate. That's what I meant to say. Has chocolate in it. And spices and stuff in it. Oh, it's so good. So good.
I'm
I am so
drop
sorry
down.
I forgot to welcome you in. Yes, I can. I forgot to welcome you in, but I
That's
am very
that's Simon. That's Simon. Yes, again, Simon. But I'm going to drop down. So.
All right.
So
Well, thank
I
you
get
for being
ready,
here,
but
Jerry.
you're welcome. It's nice seeing you
Nice.
again. It's
Yeah,
nice
you
being in your
too.
chat.
All right.
Everybody take care of yourself.
All right, you too. Get to feeling better.
I'm on the mend.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there were two. Oh, yeah. Logan will be off work here in just a few minutes. Let's see. Troy. Leftover cheesy scalloped sausage potato casserole. Ooh, that sounds different and yummy. That sounds really good.
Yesterday we had unbreaded baked catfish with lemon pepper put on it. And whenever I make macaroni and cheese, I always put peas in there. And then I also did canned spinach. And that's what we had for dinner last night. Just using up some of the.
It has been a really good talk today, hasn't it? You never know what Taco About It Tuesday is going to bring us. So,
and it helps people, with my brother Ronald. Now Jerry understands why he did what he did, what he does and stuff. And it's kind of.
I worked with a young lady when I was working as a developmental therapy tech, and she had CP and she had hydrocephalus, and she also had seizures. It was very rare if she would have a grand mal, but she would have the petit mal seizures, which is what you were talking about, where they would just stare off into space, and you would know if it was just staring or if it was a petit mal seizure by the movement of their eyes. And there were some days that she would have a few, and then there were some days where it was just constant. And if she was having the constant petit mals, then I would have to take her back home instead of spending the day with her out in the community. And those were the scary days when she was having a lot of them, the clusters. So let's see. Shawnee says, I made the kids eggs, bacon, and jelly toast, and she had a bacon cheeseburger. And in between classes and just trying to get through the day's tasks. I've had days like that. we'll end up having something hamburger again tonight. I'm so tired of beef. I'm thankful for it. So thankful for the beef. But I'm tired of beef. We have a friend who gifted us, and has done this on numerous occasions, gifted us beef, like a freezer full of beef. And after a while, you just get tired of eating the same thing all the time. And you like a little bit of change. And I've noticed the older that I get, I'm getting more and more like my mom. As my mom aged, she got to where she just did not like the taste of meat. And she would eat just like the smallest little piece of meat and be satisfied, if she even ate that much. And I'm finding myself to be more and more like that the older that I get. And I have to be in the mood to eat very much meat at all. So, yes, Kendra, believe it or not, tired of beef. Well, it's more, I should be more specific. Tired of hamburger. Because we've had an awful lot of hamburger. And I just, ugh. Yeah, Shawnee gets it. Thankful for the meat. So very thankful. But, oh, beef again. Every single night for the evening meal. Let's see. Chris is having a frozen pizza tonight as well.
I'm so tired of chicken.
Tired of chicken.
I have these cans of beef and pork. You know, the kind of about that tall, I'm thinking. They're about this big around. And I just kind of think of, what do I do with them?
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't used them. It's like, what do you do with this meat that's already cooked? I haven't figured it out yet. I know what to do with tuna. I know what to do with the chicken, but that beef and pork, I don't know.
When I was in my accident 10 years ago, I lost a lot of fine motor skills in my right hand, and I'm right-handed. And I also have problems with my back and my ability to stand in one place for very long. And don't have much counter space. And so I do not handle sharp knives. I've been to the ER because I was handling a sharp knife with my lack of motor skills. Don't care to do that again. And so I don't get in there and do much cooking because of that. But my mom used to take, like, if she had just one small piece of meat, she would take that and she'd cut it into little cubes and she would coat it with cornstarch, seasoned cornstarch, and she would fry it and then make a stir fry with it and make that one small piece of meat. She would make that little tiny bit of meat, make a meal for 3-4 people out of that one piece of meat, just by adding vegetables, and then she'd put it over a bed of rice or a bed of noodles or whatever. And those little pork cubes or chicken cubes or beef cubes were really, really tasty. It elevated the flavor of the meat, just the way that she would do that.
Everybody's giving me suggestions of what to do with this beef and beef and pork. I never even thought of doing them as tacos.
Yeah.
Never thought of that, because I do have cans of refried beans,
Mhm.
heating that up and cutting up some onions and peppers and
There's
just
always Frito casserole.
mhm,
Taco salad is amazing.
it
Um,
is.
I was trying to think of some of the others that.
Well, he said Chris said a 7-layer casserole with beef.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone said fajita or taco salad. I'm like, hey, just gives
Yeah.
me something
Frito
to think
pie.
about.
Yeah. You can always make a stew, chop it up and make a stew.
Well, it's kind of cubed. It's cubed meat that's in the juices and stuff. It
Yeah.
kind of makes me think of a beef stew type of meat that you could put vegetables with,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. It's just figuring out different things to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do know that when we went to the pantry, they had some already seasoned pork
Mm-hmm.
that's for tacos. So I could take that out and then put some other stuff with it. I don't have any lettuce, but I've got cabbage that I could stir fry and put on there.
Yeah.
Just make it a little bit different.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It does.
That sounds really good. I don't know what to do with the half a pound of ground beef that we have out that has to be cooked tonight. I do not want tacos or sloppy joes. I really don't.
Oh, I just found out something else out about Chris. He likes cabbage. So do I.
Oh yeah, I love it cooked.
Tacos. Ooh.
Like a fried cabbage salad. That's really good.
Thanks, Glenda. Just kind of shred up that cabbage and put it on it. And I do not get floured tortillas. I get corn tortillas. We do have tortillas. We certainly do. So I can do something with the, and I do have black beans that we can open up that can and put that on, warm it up and put that on also.
So what is a hobo burger, Chris? I don't know what a hobo burger is.
I remember this one that we used to make where you take a potato, you put a patty in there and you cook it in the charcoal. You start a fire and you put it in there. I remember doing that when we went camping. You just wrap it in foil and then put it in the coals and it cooks it.
I've done hobo dinners before, and you can bake them in the oven. I remember doing those. Those always take so long to cook, though, to actually get the food cooked. And I don't know what we actually have in the house to cook with them. I know we've got onions and a couple of potatoes left till I can get to the store. But other than that, we don't have much. Yeah, we've got about a half a pound of ground beef. Last night we had fried potatoes and hamburgers. Okay, a hobo dinner.
You just said a hobo burger instead. But yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, season it to your taste. I've been doing, it's not Zatarain's, but It's a
Don't
Cajun
have any
seasoning.
don't have any chips or cheese.
Oh, I do have some corn chips. So we could do something with that. And yeah, yummy nachos for sure.
Have you ever made breakfast nachos?
No, I haven't.
Those are really good.
Wow.
If you don't have the beef or the other toppings that you want for regular nachos, you can cook up breakfast sausage, not the sausage links, just regular sausage or chorizo. And you can scramble some eggs and you put those on top of your chips. And then you can put your cheeses and stuff on top of it. And it's actually really good. And you can still use your tomatoes. Basically, an omelet on top of your chips
On your chips.
without doing an omelet. Just put your regular toppings for an omelet on top of them, on top of your chips. It's pretty darn good that way.
Too bad I don't do hot peppers and jalapenos. I don't think so.
Yeah. Green chilies are good, but even some of those can be a little hot.
I know I had gotten some poblanos. They're not that bad. I thought they were going to be hot, but they're really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I go to that website, allrecipes.com.
Oh,
Definitely.
I love that site.
Definitely do.
I finally got myself a canning book. I use the site thriftbooks.com. You can get new or used books for really reasonable prices. And I got this one.
Oh, wow.
And there are some really good recipes in here for canning. And then they actually have in the very back some recipes to use what you've preserved. And I thought that was pretty cool. So you preserve some of your garden, and then you can look in the back of the book and find recipes on how to use what you've preserved. And there's some amazing recipes. They even have nut-infused oils and fruited vinegars. Sauces, things you can make in the microwave. They had some recipes in here that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have got to try this. That is going to be so good. There's salsa recipes and relishes. Cranberry rum relish.
Yeah, I think we're making everybody hungry.
Pickled sweet cherries. I would have never thought to pickle cherries, but it actually sounds pretty darn good. There's
I can't have cherries.
There's a variation for pickled plums.
Oh.
Pickled eggplant, pickled zucchini, beets and onions.
I've got some daikon radishes that I'm going to blanch and put them in freezer bags and put them in the freezer. So when I do like a roast, all I've got to do is take them out and then they will cook up with the roast.
Huh. There's a spiced raspberry spread.
Ooh.
A citrus strawberry spread. Blueberry pineapple.
I can rosemary, wine, fig jam. Ooh.
That sounds absolutely amazing, Glenda.
Yeah,
I
it
want to try
does.
that.
Wow. Don't have a fig tree here, but that sounds really good.
Plum conserve with maple syrup. There's a lot of jams and jellies and things like that in here. But there are
Chris,
pickles and things too.
Chris is getting ready to leave.
Oh,
He's got to
okay.
eat dinner.
All right. Well, enjoy your frozen pizza.
So,
Hope it's a good one. Thank you for being here.
thank you for being here, Chris.
Right back at you. Logan will be home here shortly, so I will have to get off. But
And I need to start making my brother and I dinner. You know, cooking for him and getting some things finished. Figuring out, okay, give him some options and say, hey, what do you want?
yeah.
Whatever. He always says, whatever you make. There's Gigi. Meow. Look who leaped up here. Did you hear her?
Yeah. She's pretty.
Thank you.
So pretty.
She's kind of a medium haired. In fact, this was a feral kitten.
Uh-huh.
And I had them here in our living room because they were feral and we were trying to get them to calm down. We put them in a 48 by 32 dog crate with litter box and food. And every time someone would come to get her, she would hide behind the litter box. And then she became the last one. And I'm like, she looked at me and started meowing. He says, okay, this is my home. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. But yeah, you see that she's still here.
Yeah.
All I wanted was one big black cat, BB, you know, to be the mouser, you know, because he was a barn cat.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she decided, no, I'm not leaving. And then when the pandemic happened, no, her name is just a large GGG, not GIGI. It's just Gigi, and it means gray girl.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Cool.
so for 2 years, I had to make sure she didn't get out of the house because she was not fixed.
Oh.
So I know what it sounds like to have an intact female in the house. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
she finally did get fixed, which I'm really happy. You're okay. Oh, she's growling. Yeah, there you go, girl. I don't need to get hurt.
Yeah.
There's my big boy back there, but
Well-
yeah, it's like, wow.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here before hubby gets home. He's
Okay.
not quiet when he gets home, and the dog won't be either. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a good conversation.
Oh,
And I sure appreciate you all. I am going to be working on Thursday's video. We'll start the first chapter of the names of God, and it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to learning more about the names of God. And then on Monday, I have a guest coming to us from Greenland. And
wow.
that will be a very interesting conversation. So keep your eyes out for that. I believe I've already posted the link for that live. So hope to see you guys there. Thank you again. Enjoy your dinner. All of it sounds wonderful. And thank you again, Rebecca, for joining me
You're
this
welcome.
week. And
welcome.
everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. God bless you. Catch you next
Bye.
week on Talk About It Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.